Ladies and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, amazing, original, Johnny Blaze, often imitated, but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the original Johnny Blaze Show. It's great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time, ladies and gentlemen. Well, folks, Trump got himself impeached again. And this time he won't be allowed to run for public office ever again. This is one of those rare occasions when the sequel is much better than the original. After Trump got impeached again, the first thing Melania said was, "Now that we're never coming back, is there any way we can get our deposit back on the White House?" Ha ha. When Joe Biden gets inaugurated president next week, he's going to have a lot of Trump's old messes to clean up. He can start by picking up all the Legos and Tinker toys Donald Jr. left in the Oval Office. Ha ha. Now, before the virus, staying home every night watching TV in my underwear was called the life of a pathetic loser. Thanks to the virus, it's now called saving the world. Ha ha. I've heard that dogs are unable to catch the virus. This is great news. After years of going out and working hard while my dog sat on the couch all day doing nothing, now I get to stay home while my dog goes out and drives for Uber. Don't feel guilty if you haven't cleaned your room or learned a new language during all quarantine downtime. There is something much more important that we can all do. Just stop watching the news for 10 whole minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of very unique guests, and so please give a big warm welcome to Sancho and Cynna from Sticky Doll Band. Welcome to the original Johnny Blaze Show.
Hey,
hi.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Oh, we're good. Give me a second. We had this all set up to kind of, be framed, and then of course Zoom was weird, but I think we're good there, right? You can see us okay?
I can see you okay. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Are we on or are we waiting?
We're on. You both look fabulous. You really do.
Yeah.
Hey, you're into heavy metal music. What exactly is heavy metal music? Sancho.
Heavy?
What is
It's metal. No, I'm kidding. Well, Johnny, we kind of consider ourselves more of a punk band. Heavy metal, that's not really, we don't really go by that, but that term and punk mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
When I think of heavy metal, I think of Judas Priest and I think of Ozzy Osbourne and stuff like that. We are, I think we're more punk edged, like a Los Angeles band X is a big influence of ours.
Cool.
Plasmatics, L7, so kind of rock but a little punk edged, if that makes sense.
So what would you say is the difference then between the two, between heavy metal and punk? What would you say?
Punk is usually faster. It's a sound thing. I think like the guitars in heavy metal are more like, it says it's silly, but it's more like chunk, 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 that kind of thing. And our stuff's just, it's fast and it's not like so chunky, I guess. It's just more in your face kind of a thing.
So it's more fast and outrageous, it sounds like what you're doing.
I guess so.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we try to be. We do.
I gotcha. And now, how long have you two both been doing this, and how did you get started?
Together? You mean the band Sticky Doll?
The band, Sticky Doll Band.
I'll let Cynna talk. I talk too much, Johnny. I'll let her talk.
Yeah, Cynna, why don't you tell me, Cynna, how long have you two been together? How did you get started?
Met through mutual friends, just a bunch of other musicians, and then we started dating, and then we lived together, and then after like a year, I don't know, that was like maybe 2014, 2015. I said, I want to form a band, and Greg had have been singing like for 10 years, but Greg has been in bands since high school, and he's toured and all this stuff with other bands. So when I said, I want to be in a band, we kind of just started writing music and recording it and came up with the name. And, you know, after like maybe 7 or 8 months of like recording our music, we could then send it out to the clubs. And then we just started going out and doing gigs within like a year. And then that's just what we've been doing ever since.
So you've been at it for quite a while. How did you come up with, that's a very catchy name, Sticky Band. That's it's a very catchy name. How'd you come up with that?
She's got a story for that too, Johnny.
Well, it's, I don't know.
Sticky Doll Band.
Yeah, I had wanted the name Sticky because I had this ex-boyfriend who is a guitar player, and on his refrigerator,
He's a loser, Johnny.
yeah, but that's a whole other interview. So on his refrigerator, he had the sticker, and it said, "I feel sticky. No, it's just MTV." And I loved the sticker, and I always thought Sticky would be a good name for a band. And so that was really my first choice of names for a band, is Sticky, or I wanted the name Blow Up Dolls. So yeah, that was like, those were my two that I had always wanted. And then Greg was like, you know, we had to do some research on, does anybody else have these names? And I think we found that both names were taken. So Greg decided, why don't we consolidate Sticky and Blow Up Dolls? So we went to Sticky Dolls, but then we cut it short to Sticky Doll.
Why didn't we do Sticky Blow Up? That'd have been all right. I don't know. But that's the story, Johnny.
We just didn't go that far with the conversation, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Now, how did the doll part get into it? Now, you just thought that was cute to have the doll with Sticky?
Yeah, and you know what? Because
you like New York Dolls, Blow Up Dolls.
Yeah, I loved bands that had the word dolls in it, and I really love it when bands have the word doll, but like they have guys in the band, or like
they wear makeup. You know, those guys that wear makeup. Stupid guy. No, I'm kidding.
Like, I love it when bands, like I had tried to start another band called what is that?
What's wrong?
Pretender's name?
Oh,
Tattooed Love Boys.
Tattooed Love Boys.
I'd wanted to start a Pretenders band, cover band called Tattooed Love Boys, because I would be the lead singer and I was a girl, and I always kind of liked that twist. So I really wanted to have the name Doll in the band, specifically because there was a guy in the band, and actually our drummer is always a guy as well. And I don't know, I just kind of thought it was cool. That's it. You know?
That's cool. That's interesting and cool. Oh yeah. So you two make a great team. What is there about, okay, it's not heavy. What is it about punk rock that really excites you? Obviously it's outrageous type of music. What is there about it that gets you going?
I think for me, it's always been that you do whatever you want. You know, like I've always thought that we do whatever the hell we want. I mean, like I said, we've been categorized kind of as punk. But when we set out, we didn't set out with we didn't say we're a punk band or we're a heavy metal band. We were just like, we started writing songs, and we've got a unique instrumentation with Sticky Doll. It's only me playing a bass, but it sounds like bass and guitar. And then we have our drummer. So we've got this unique sound to begin with. And then, lyrically, I'm all over the board, and, it's sarcastic stuff. It's our personalities a lot in the lyrics, and the music is usually like in your face, because my influences with bands were visual theatric bands, like Kiss and Marilyn Manson and bands like that. But I have always liked like the heavy, I guess they're in the heavy metal genre, but like, Rammstein and just, and I suppose old school stuff like Led Zeppelin, Judas Priest and stuff. So it's this heavy sound, but it's fast, our stuff, you know, and lyrically it's wacky and silly. You know, we don't sing about dragons and rainbows and stuff like a lot of heavy metal stuff. I'm generalizing, but I don't know. I think that's my take on punk anyway. I know that punk, you know, was kind of original back in the late 70s, and it really was a rebellion, and it was even more political, you know, but that was with the lyrical stuff. And you know, we don't look at punk now that way. For us, it's just a title, but it's fast music and it's basically no rules. Do whatever you
also
want.
too, we were kind of going for an X sound.
Yeah.
Because
male, female vocals.
Greg had El Sancho kind of was falling in love with X at the same time. Just because we had friends that played in a X cover band, and I had always loved them, and so we were kind of going for that kind of their attitude and their kind of upbeat type of feel.
And the female lead vocal. You know what I mean? Technically, she's the lead singer. You know, she sings most of the stuff, but we very often do dual vocals. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that gives us kind of a unique sound. You know,
you play the lead guitar. You say the lead guitar or bass guitar? What?
my instrument that's on me is a bass guitar, 4 strings, but I've got a certain type of effects pedal, and it splits my sound, and I send one set of sound to bass amplifier, so you hear my bass, but the effect I send to guitar cabinets, and it makes it sound like a guitar. But I'm only playing my bass. But when you see us live, you get this big sound, and everybody's like, "Where's the guitar player?" You know, but it's all me just driving it with the bass, and then our recordings, 100% bass, but it really sounds like guitar. Yeah.
Great. Did you teach yourself, or how did you get into playing the guitar? Did you learn yourself, or did you take lessons somewhere? Or?
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, let's see, you know how I got started was Kiss was a big influence for me. And I knew when I was like 12, 13, you know, I wanted to be in a band. I knew absolutely that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to play anything. And I guess once I got into high school, maybe it was 8th grade or 9th grade, but there were some friends of mine that had a little garage band together, you know, totally amateur, you know, and they said, "Hey, we need a bass player." You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'll learn bass. And, you know, I didn't know how to play it really. So my dad took me to some lessons in town with this little old man. I remember his name was Mr. Miletta Dicio. He was this little Italian guy. He was very old, in his 70s or 80s. And I took maybe a couple lessons, but the thing was, I went in there with this attitude. I just want to play, you know, rock, what I want to play, Kiss music and rock and roll. And he, of course, was trying to teach me traditionally the C, you know, music and stuff like that, Johnny. So like the C scale, you know, do, re, mi, fa, all that kind of the basics of theory and music. And I didn't want anything to do with that. I just wanted to play da-da-da-da, you know. So I took a few lessons. I learned a little bit, and then honestly, I kind of taught myself by ear. You know.
That's fantastic. Really.
Yeah.
How about you, Cynna? Now you're a singer now. Are you what do you sing? Soprano or you sing alto, or what's your range?
You know what? I would probably characterize myself. Someone heard my voice once and said, "Oh, you are an alto soprano." And I was like, "Oh," because, you know, when I started singing, when I was in high school, I danced and I performed a lot in high school through dance. And so years later, I decided that I still wanted to perform, but I'd had like a car accident and stuff, so I couldn't really be a dancer. So I thought, I want to sing in a band, in front of band, and perform like that. So, you know what? And I knew, like, I don't have like this naturally beautiful voice. Like, I'm not like, believe it or not.
You don't?
I'm not like a Barbara Streisand or anything like that, but I just kind of thought, you know what? I didn't even really know that I was going to be in a rock band or punk band. I just decided I want to be in the front of a band. I'm going to start taking singing lessons. And, you know, I mean, I knew a lot of musicians at the time, and they were like, hey, Cynthia or Cynna, if you can get up in front of the band and just, you know, look hot and really, you know, put on a great show, if you're a great singer or not, it's kind of doesn't really matter. And so I just thought, you know what, Kurt Cobain, I mean, I was like, if Kurt Cobain can sing in Nirvana, I can be a singer in a band if I want to. And it was just like that, you know what I mean? And so I learned how, like, I used to think I had this low singing voice, but I took some training and I realized that my voice, I can sing much higher than I thought I could, you know, so I'm really not even positive.
I think I think she's more in an alto range, but she's got a good falsetto, you know, so she can.
And a good scream.
Yeah.
So.
Psycho scream, we call it.
Yeah.
You two make a great team together. Now, what is a typical day when you two were together and you're putting on a show and everything? What is a typical day? What events that happen and everything? And tell me about some of your more exciting live shows that you've ever a live Sticky Doll show that you've had.
Well, our day usually, unless we're doing a gig right here in town, our day is usually loading up the truck with all the gear, you know. In a perfect world, we would have roadies and all these people that work for us, but camper. You know, we do it all ourselves. We're a total DIY, do-it-yourself band. So anyway, I've got a Ford F-150 truck with the canopy shell on it, so we load all of our gear, or I load all of our gear in, and it's tons of amplifiers and cabinets, you know, because we put on a big show. And we've got some props and, you know, things like that. So I load the truck.
This is our banner behind us, and we usually take it to the show and hang it on the back of the stage.
Oh, that's interesting.
Banner.
But we use it for our Sunday show that you were on, you know, for a background. But it's typically our banner on stage when we play. And, you know, then it's, you know, so like I said. Oh, we're cutting out. Are you there, Joni? We're kind of cutting out audio-wise. Yep. We're good.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. All good. So I mean, once we're loaded up and all that, it's basically driving, you know. And then as far as well, we're driving right now to get where we're going.
Oh, if we're going.
But we've played Vegas a few times. We really enjoy it there. There's a really cool punk rock venue there called the Double Down that we played at a few times, and we were lucky to play there on. One of the weekends that was called Punk Rock Bowling. It's a big event that goes on once a year. It's called Punk Rock Bowling, but it's really, you know,
like a
festival, and it's bands playing at all these different venues in Vegas. But it's a lot of big name, well-known bands, you know. So we were really honored to get on a bill with one of the clubs during that weekend. So, but we've always had fun at this venue. We have a really good time, and then other than that, you know, we drive. Okay, so to answer your question, so we drive to usually where we're going. A lot of times we spend the night, you know, because it's far enough away that it's not something we just drive back after we play. So, you know, we book a cheap hotel. You know, we were fans of Motel 6 for quite a while until they kept raising their prices. But you know, whatever. Yeah, so we get a hotel, we drive to it, we hang out, and then, you know, we do our makeup and stuff like that, you know, before we go to the club. So, you know, then our time is spent just, I guess, putting makeup on. And for me, I'm always like on show day, I'm really stressed out.
Yeah.
You know, I have so much stuff to do and take care of, and I get really stressed out. So like I've got my phone and I play like really mellow music, completely opposite of what we play, but it keeps me calm, you know. And so we do all this stuff, and then we usually go to the venue. You know, we like to see the other bands that play before us, and we like to support other bands. Yeah, a lot of bands don't do that, but we do. So we get there early, you know, and hang out, you know, and you know, then when
that's always fun.
Yeah, it is.
Getting to know the other bands is great.
Yeah. And you know, being
that's fantastic. That's really great.
Yeah.
You're organized. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, try to.
Is that your favorite a venue in Vegas, or have you
See. Hold on, Johnny. We
had
got
favorite venues that you've played? Hmm? Are you
there. You
there,
go.
Sancho?
Yeah, you were frozen. Now you're fine.
Oh, I don't know why.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Um,
What was your
yeah.
question, Johnny? I'm sorry.
I was asking you. I said, "Alex, sounds like Las Vegas is one of your favorites. Is that your favorite venue, or is there any other venues that you've been at that you found most interesting, exciting?"
Oh, you know what? It's been so long since we played. God, we haven't played a show since the January of last year. So it's like I'm having to remember now all this
I
stuff.
think for me, Slap City.
Slab City, we've enjoyed playing at. Have you ever heard of that place, Johnny?
Lab City? No, I never have.
Slab.
Slab.
Yeah,
Some-
SLAB, Slab City.
Oh, slab.
Yeah. How do you describe it?
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a community that's out in the desert. It's like past Palm Springs, like 2 hours. And
Oh,
it's a community that is technically the property of, I think, the Navy. It used to be like a base, but the Navy left, and they left all the foundations of, like, the actual cement foundations of a lot of the buildings. And so they still control it and own this. It's this massively huge piece of property, probably, I don't know, 200 acres or more, something like that. And homeless people started moving in, or people with campers who just wanted to be off the grid. So now it's this massively huge off the grid community, and it's rent free because the Navy still owns it, and the Navy has not tried to ever kick anybody out of it. But it's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So,
wow. Interesting.
but they have a stage.
Yeah.
They keep all the lights on at night with generators, and they have like a stage, this whole setup where they have bands come and play. And I think, the people there are just so enthusiastic
And really appreciative of
so
when us bands go play there.
appreciative.
They're really, they're really into
They're
it,
so
grateful.
supportive. They
Yeah.
love us. People dance all night long, and it's such a cool place and different. And then the people just really, really make it like a really special place. So it's fun.
But it's a
just to
very
go.
interesting place.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it's not just any place. That's right.
Yeah.
So you two live. I think you live in. Are you in Joshua Tree? I think. I understand that you're in Joshua Tree.
Yeah, we say Joshua
Tree.
Tree. Technically, the city we're in is called Yucca Valley. It's like 4 miles, 7 miles before Joshua Tree, but nobody's ever heard of Yucca Valley, so we just say Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're next door to
But we're
it.
next door.
Is that somewhere near Palm Springs? I think. Isn't that near Palm Springs?
It is. If you go out to Palm Springs, there's mountains. There's a huge mountain range to the north of Palm Springs, and we basically live at the top of those mountains.
Wow. That's that's interesting. It is.
Yeah. We're in the high desert.
Yeah.
Palm Springs is the low desert.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the high one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
We're not high, but we're in the high desert.
Right.
You got a good sense of humor there. That's
I got to follow you, Johnny. So I got to.
Exactly. I know.
yeah, right. Well, you're high on what you're doing. You obviously are very excited about what you're doing, and you project that, both of you too.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Now,
Yeah,
I know you're okay. You're not in heavy metal. But I heard that sometimes the heavy metal, some people have got the idea that heavy metal started violence. What do you think of that? You think it caused violence, or you think it relaxes people?
I wouldn't say it relaxes people, but there's bands over the years, like Black Sabbath. They were like, I think technically considered the first heavy metal band. Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all that. We're talking late 60s, 70s. But, you know, the music's so powerful and loud and all that, you know, it usually excites people when they're watching it live. So that's why you started over the years. And then especially when punk rock came in, people slam dancing is, you know, but they're just dancing and having fun. But it's such an aggressive sound and aggressive vibe, you know, that people are slamming into each other. And that's kind of where that term slam dance came from. But, you know,
I just think if you're not used to it, because when you think about when you think about even like when Elvis was young,
yeah,
Elvis
he was
Presley,
considered a rebel,
right? The way that he moved on camera,
Yeah.
his hips and everything, that the cameras wouldn't even shoot him from, you know, full shots
Yeah.
because he was considered so just way too controversial.
Yeah, he was way too well.
Right.
See,
I think it kind of depends.
and he, you know what, Johnny, he didn't, as you know, because you love Elvis and so do we. He didn't project violence in any way, but he was so different and he was so threatening to parents because he was such a rebel. His look, his sexuality, they might as well have considered him dangerous. You know what I mean? Because he was something that they didn't like, and they knew their kids loved it, but it was wrong and it was bad. So he might as well have been inciting riots as far as the parents were concerned. And actually, his shows, you could, I wouldn't say riots, but oh my God, the girls and, you know, some guys, but man, his crowds went crazy, crazy,
insane.
You're right.
Chasing his car down. Yeah.
So, and you know what? I think
Ed Sullivan, they filmed him on the way going up. That's correct. And the people got angry. They were upset as they were when knock the records and break the records and everything because they thought that this is not according to what's going on. This is, in other words, they didn't understand what he was doing. He just said he's having fun. He's not meaning any violence or anything. And it sounds like that's similar to, you know, when you're talking about punk rock or even heavy metal. You're not trying to incite violence. You're just doing it for people to have fun and be entertained.
Yeah. A lot of people too, I have felt this myself, and I've talked to other people where, you know, a lot of people can't really find a way to express themselves. You know what I mean? And
right.
Through music, I mean, I think just all kinds of music help people kind of express who they are. And, you know, especially, you know, punk rock has, you know, a lot of the kids that loved punk rock, like back in the 80s, were kids that, you know, were runaways or had other issues going on. And I think the music, even if they were slam dancing, you know, and it seemed to be violent, it helped them like just express themselves, whether it was happiness or anger, and just kind of get emotion off their chest. And I know that's why I always loved music, because if I was sad or happy, it just helped me to just express those feelings and then just kind of calm down, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a great way of like getting everything off your chest, to be able to express yourself and to feel good. Whether it lifts you up or tears you down, no matter what, you're gonna do your best to try to express yourself. And so it's a great forum. It's a great forum for self-expression.
Exactly.
You're right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Who's inspired both of you now? Cynna and also, yeah, and also El Sancho. Who was your greatest inspiration, both of you? Tell me who inspired you.
Well, I'm easy, Johnny. I would say Kiss. I was a huge Kiss fan.
Okay.
Well, I think I would say, you know, a lot of different female performers, but, you know, when I was younger, I really loved the band Concrete Blonde. And the singer is Jeanette Napolitano. And it's really funny because she lives in Joshua Tree, which I didn't know when we moved here. But I went to see Concrete Blonde a few times in the early 90s, and I just loved everything about this performer. And that was the first time I can remember thinking, I want to be like her. And then through the years, Chrissy Hine of the Pretenders.
Debbie Harry, you probably liked a lot, right? Blondie?
I wasn't really that much into Deborah Harry. I love the music of Blondie, but like Chrissy Hine, I loved. Exene from X. The band The Dead Weather, their singer is Allison Mosshart. And all of these performers, like when I perform, I've taken something from what they all have done. Like in Sticky Doll, I keep the mic on the stand. I never take the mic off the stand and sing around the stage with it. It stays on the stand, even if I'm pulling the stand all over the stage with me. That's directly because of Exene of X. She never takes the mic off the stand. And so there's something about all of these performers that just really made me stop and notice. And I thought was very exciting that I try to copy in what I do.
Yeah, they're all very exciting performers.
Powerful.
So what is there about what exactly? So it sounds like you're taking something from these artists, a little of each, and using that for your own entertainment, your own performing to make yourself better.
Right.
And that's what we all do. I think we all borrow. I mean, that's just what music is for musicians. I mean, I don't think I'm ever recreating the wheel, but I've got my influences and stuff, but I always try to make my stuff original, but we're all influenced. You love Elvis and stuff like that, and we've got our influences, right. And it usually comes out in our music and our attitude and style.
What's there about Kiss, El Sancho, that excites you?
I guess I was just, the theatrics of them and it drew me in, and then I liked the music. But honestly, originally it was just like, oh my God, because they came out with this thing that nobody was doing. I mean, there was an Alice Cooper, granted, and there were some glammy bands like the band Sweet and Slade and some things like that. But Kiss came out and did everything. They did everything. They flew, they breathed fire, they spit blood. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I was they were like larger than life, like superheroes, like Elvis was to a lot of people. He was this god to a lot of people. I wouldn't say I saw them as gods, but I did just think, oh my God, I just said God, but whatever. So it was really exciting what they were doing. And then, as I got older and learned to play music, of course, I learned a lot of their stuff because they were my original influence.
Great.
And they're still doing it today, 40 years later, with two of the original members. And I'm not into what they're doing and what they've been doing for a long time. But the original band that came out was just, they were considered the biggest band in the world for years. After Elvis was the biggest thing in the world in his time. And then Kiss, they were the biggest band in the world for like the mid to, I'd say 75 to 78. They were always winning the magazine polls as most popular band in the world and all this stuff. So, but just very exciting. And I love the theatrics and I love to perform. I like the dress up part of it. I'm not somebody that just goes on stage and puts my bass on and stands there and plays. I like to put on a show. So for me, it's the look and the attitude and, that kind of a thing. That's what I took from my influence with Kiss.
When you're doing your best to please yourself and please your fans, of course. And of course, you're not going to please everybody. Nobody does. But, you do your best and hope for the best. That's all you can do. Great. That's fantastic. That is. It really is. Are there any other, even though they're not related, but any other several people in a band, for example, Sonny and Cher or Captain Tennille or Donnie and Marie or any of those other people? What do you think of those?
It's a good thing we're also young and good looking because we're sure dating ourselves with these references. That's okay. Well, it's funny you said that because the show you were just on, I made a reference to us being like Sonny and Cher, because I said, God, we're not even musicians anymore. You know, we haven't played music in over a year. So I said, God, now we're like variety show comedians like Sonny and Cher. So it's funny you said that. I don't know if you
To me, you do other people's songs, but you create your own. Is that correct? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, right. I mean, we're an original band, but we do our handful of cover songs.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Right. What I was going to ask you, I mean, I know it's kind of crazy because there's no music. We don't actually have a plan with music. But since you two are such a great couple doing your, and putting so much chutzpah and charisma into what you're doing and loving what you're doing with so much passion, if you would, if I don't want to put you in the spot, but if you were to sing, "I Got You, Babe," I think that would be cute for both of you two to sing it.
Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Yeah, I know what
they say our love won't pay the rent.
Oh, don't sing it right now. But yeah, you're right. That'd be cute. And
yeah.
What was it? Well, they were brother and sister, so I don't want to be incestuous, but Donnie Marie. Yeah, and they had I'm a little bit country and I'm a little bit rock and roll.
No, I just because I liken you two to being the Sonny and Cher of punk rock. That's the reason why I thought that would be kind of cute for you to do that. I mean, you don't have it planned, of course.
I love that.
If you wanted to, but I understand if you don't. That's a goal also.
Oh, I think
it's just something that.
Good thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, we had a lot of fun having you on the show, Johnny. We had a lot of fun.
You know, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun too. I definitely enjoyed it very much, and the people that have found it very entertaining. I like the way you did it. You boosted it up sky high and everything, and it was just fun all the way around. I asked my friend Alex. I said, "I'm sure you're probably the one that called at the end." He said, "Yep." He laughed.
He calls in every week. No. He calls in every week. Yeah, he's either Elvis or he's Beavis and Butthead or what's the other one he does?
Hank Hill.
Hank Hill from that show King of the Hill, and then he's got these New Jersey hey yo characters he does, but you know.
Sometimes he just surprises us and just thinks of a whole new character, and we don't know. We just know he's going to call at some point.
Yeah. And our show's pretty loose, Johnny. I have a format I follow, probably like you. You know, you have a format, so you know what you're doing. But we don't plan out. We don't plan out what we're gonna say, or we don't. It's not really scripted, so we just kind of go with whatever. When we have our guest callers, whatever we talk about, we talk about. When Alex calls, or a couple of my other friends call with characters, like celebrity imitations, they do whatever. You know what I mean? And it just kind of works out because it's natural and it's real. And even though, we're putting on a show and we're putting on our sticky doll characters and all that, but that show is really just our personalities, like our real personalities. We're sarcastic and we're silly and, we're like this all day long, but Sunday we turn the camera on.
Really.
You're having fun with it. It's not scripted. You're just having fun and you're doing it spontaneously. That's what it is. It's just cool fun. That's what it is. Exactly. And I think that's great. I think that's,
Yeah, and it really, there's a lot of content. We originally started it doing 30 minutes, and I don't think we ever stuck to that from the first show. It's like with the calls coming in and the stuff, and we just, different things we do, just, we do like overreaction where one of us will tell a story and then the other one will react to it because everyone's doing those reaction videos. And we talk about like our dogs and, it just, now it's like we're ending at an hour without even trying. So it just really flows. It's not like we ever hit a bunch of dead time and we sit there wondering what to do next.
Yeah.
So we're lucky, I think, in that I don't know if it's a secret or a formula, but it's really seemed to work out for us.
Yeah, tomorrow's Johnny. Tomorrow's our 25th episode.
Yeah, I feel lucky.
25. Congratulations on that, El Sancho, and you've seen it too. Congratulations, both of you. That's phenomenal.
We should have a cake.
Wait, so what do you think? Now, that's not easy. It's not easy for relationships, period, let alone partners that work together in, and doing what they love doing, on the job. What do you think is the secret of your success, and what advice would you give to people who want to be in a band like you? Do you have any ideas or advice?
Being in a band with an actual partner. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
not just anyone
yeah,
can do that
it's
because it's
not,
hard enough to have a relationship. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's definitely something that over the years it's proven to not work very well with most bands. There's always, because the minute the couple fights and breaks up, the band breaks up,
Yeah.
right? So I do think we're lucky and unique, and I think I'm grateful to the universe or whatever for bringing us together, because we're very similar. We like so many of the same things, and
Mhm.
we enjoy each other's company. We always joke that we're what's the word? Uh, what do you call it when you're obsessed with, not
Codependent.
codependent? We always make jokes that we're so codependent, but because we do everything together for the most part. But we just enjoy the same things,
Yeah, we
before
really
before
do.
the COVID and all this crap and everything shut down. We like to go out and eat the same. We go to the clubs. We'll go see bands together. We'll go eat together. We'll go for drives. And then we do the band. We have all that in common. We kind of have the same idea and the same drive, and we like, what I mean. We write music well together. So I don't know what the secret is, other than your relationship has to be strong, or you can't have a band with that partner, because you can't you have to have both strong, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we're strong. You want to arm wrestle?
Yeah.
Left-handed.
Well, you two, no, you two blend together harmoniously well. You smile. You love what you're doing. You have more in common than just a common cold. That's for
Yeah.
sure. You make a great team. You do, both of you.
Yeah. Thanks,
We
Johnny.
do.
You really do. So how do people deal? How do people that want to get, let's say that, there's disappointment in the business, entertainment, of course. There's rejection. How do you deal with that? How are you able to overcome that? How do you think people can deal with it to try to do what you're doing?
To deal with rejection, meaning like not getting signed to a record label or things like that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Say they
Well,
can't. You're right. Yeah.
all I can say to that comes off the top of my head is that, okay, putting the pandemic aside, and if things were normal right now, everybody was playing out and all that,
Right.
it's a completely different world. It's a completely different music industry than it was years ago. Record labels, they don't sign rock bands now. I guess the bottom line I'm trying to say is bands pretty much do everything themselves these days. You
I see.
know, we book our own shows, we book our own tours, we publish our own music now, instead of having to have a record company sign us and record and all that.
Yeah.
We record ourselves, we publish it, we copy, we do everything, and most bands do. I'm not saying we're so unique. So your question is, how do you handle rejection and stuff? I don't really know what rejection at this point we'd have to handle other than our own, because we do everything.
So,
If I put our album out and we don't like it, then I guess that's on us. You know what I mean? Nobody rejected it but us.
right. So
If that makes sense.
you're independent. You do everything
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
most bands have to be that way today, or they don't play. They don't get anything done if they don't do it themselves.
Yeah, and I think you just have to, like Greg said, the industry is not anything like it used to be. And, from what I've seen, I've been a singer for 10 years, but Greg's been a musician almost his entire life. The artists don't really get treated all that well. And so, like, I've really had to stay focused on what do I really want, because like the Double Down in Vegas is fun to play at.
Mhm.
They're really supportive. They pay you something, not that much, but it's just a fun place. They're really nice to us, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
We have to fight with the sound people 50% of the time to get the sound we want, to get the monitors loud enough. So that can be really disappointing and really a bummer to have those when you work so hard, like we work so hard, like we decorate the stage before we even put the instruments on the stage, and we've got all the makeup on, the outfits, and so like the gig is so much work, and then for the venue to kind of not really be that nice to us, it's
Yeah,
so,
for them to throw a monkey wrench into our sound, for example, or something like that. When but again, I'm not saying we're so special. This is what us bands have to deal with this.
Right.
But,
and I just think, you know what? I want to be in a band. I want to sing in a band. This is important to me. So yeah, I get disappointed, but that doesn't change how I feel about what I'm doing. I just try to keep my focus on what I want.
So basically, you gotta deal with the good and the bad. If you really love what you're doing, what you do, you're dedicated to it, then I guess
how
the good comes.
And specifically, you said, how do you deal with rejection? I think you just have to not care. I think
Ultimately,
if you love what you're doing, you just keep doing it. There's people that can't stand us. I'm sure. I don't give a crap. I'm sorry if they don't like us. I'm focusing on the ones that do.
Yeah.
And I like.
Well, if they can't, Sancho, both El Sancho and Cynna, if they can't stand you, just tell them to sit down.
That's right.
Tell them to sit.
Go have a sit. Go sit down and have a.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Right.
I'm joking with you. I'm joking. Right. But you're not going to please everybody. It's impossible. It's just impossible. Oh, yeah. Even the greatest artists had people that didn't care for them, whether it be Elvis or Frank Sinatra or the Beatles. Yeah. You're not going to please everybody. But you please yourself, you need to do your best, and that's all. Hope for the best.
Exactly.
So that's fantastic.
The greatest artists, actually,
Pardon me?
The greatest artists like an Elvis or Rolling Stones or Kiss or whatever, they're the bands that they're usually like love them or hate them. You know what I mean? It's not like, everybody kind of likes them and all that. Those aren't the big bands that are super successful. They're the ones that people just love them, or they can't stand them, and they're controversial and they get negative press. But that does nothing but fuel a band, because any press is good press. So a band like Kiss coming out doing what they were doing, Alice Cooper beheading himself, all this stuff was terrible press, and everybody thought they hated them and sucked, but it made them so big and so popular. Well known.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm saying, like, the A-level entertainers like an Elvis and a Elton John and Kiss and all that,
right,
they're so controversial, but all that controversy just made them huge,
Well,
like
you're right.
Oh, wait.
You're right, because the more people put something down, it gets press, it gets publicity, and it gets people to notice them. Then they think what they can't get, they want. If they can't get it, then they want it even more. So it actually fuels us. It makes people buy into it. That makes sense. And they stand out. People like that stand out. They're not just anyone. They're unique and different. And that's what you've got to be. You got to be different. You can't be like everyone else. See? So there you go. So you two, you're doing your own thing. Even though you're inspired by others, you're doing your own. And where do you see yourself now? You have any dreams or any future projects in the future of what you want to do? Dreams and desires for as a band.
Well, I think what we were kind of working on before this whole shutdown thing happened was we were trying to get on any kind of like little opening slot with some bigger bands, because that's a good way for local, more unknown bands to get noticed, is to be the opening band for, like we love the band L7, and they've been touring again, and we were like, we want to get on a bill with them.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get on a bill with X. We want to get on a bill with these bands that we love. So, we weren't beating the streets to make it happen, because I think with both of us at this point, like, we're doing what we're doing and we're having fun, and to say, oh, we have to do this to be successful, we have to reach this thing and this pinnacle and all that. I think I don't think like that anymore. I know I did my whole entertainment, my whole adult life growing up, I'm going to be a rock star, and I'm going to, that means I'm going to tour the world. That means I'm going to play in Japan. I had all these, I guess, dreams and goals. And now I think with music, my dream and goal, I'm doing it. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm putting out music that I love. I love to perform with her, and I like our fans. We love our fans. We're actually like made a lot good friends with a lot of our fans. And so I don't know. I think the only dream and goal is just to keep doing it as long as we can, and having fun. And if I get old and I'm in a wheelchair and whatever, I'm still gonna do what I can do.
Exactly. Just hope we can do it.
You don't want to get older. You don't want to get older and say, I wanted to have, be, and do all those things, and I never did it. You want to do it while you can, when you're young, when you're healthy, when you're capable. So you have no regrets later on.
Right. And I'm so young and good looking that I've got plenty of time to get it all done. Yeah. That's a joke, by the way, Johnny.
No. Yeah, you're definitely doing it. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Oh yeah. Wow. So how can people want to find out more about your music now? The songs. I mean, I think there was a few songs. I think there was about a witch. There was something with a witch, and then there was some other song, and I saw several of them that sounded interesting. Tell me about the different songs that you have done.
We have one that's not very not very G-rated, so we won't talk about that one.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. You won't mention that. I think I know what you're talking about. Right. Yeah. But some of the other ones that are more G-rated.
But that's a good example of what I was saying about controversy and all that. That's our most popular song, of course.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that we're not mentioning. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
The unmentionable.
Yep. But but as far as were you saying like where can we tell people to find our music and stuff? You mean? Or did I understand?
Right. Where can people find your music?
Yeah. Well, these days all music is online. It's streaming. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. All these places. So we're there with everybody else. When we put out an album, we get it published, and we get it distributed on all the streaming channels. So all anybody has to do is type in Sticky Doll on YouTube. You type in Sticky Doll, that gives you all the videos we have up, and you can click on our channel. You have your channel. If they're on Spotify, they have a Spotify membership. They type Sticky Doll. You know what I mean? All of our albums are everywhere. The music is.
Yeah, and anybody can get in touch with El Sancho at the Sticky Doll page on Facebook.
Yeah.
They can always send El Sancho a message if they want a T-shirt or stickers or
we send stuff even overseas to when we get fans that like us in other countries. That's really exciting because it's a whole new it's a whole new set of ears, and I get really excited. Somebody from the Netherlands or Australia messages me. And I usually hey, let me send you some CDs, let me send you a T-shirt, I think recently,
That's what I was going to ask you, how they can find out more about you. I guess you Facebook, and do you have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, a little everything.
Yeah, all those. And actually, if somebody's, just wants to type in stickydoll.com, it takes us to our main band page, which is it's called Bandcamp, but that doesn't matter. But that's our main online thing where people can buy directly our music and our T-shirts and things like that directly.
So you have T-shirts also. Okay, great. Yeah, that's great promotional items. Whether it be selling music or promoting T-shirts, or you're out there. You're definitely out there. Oh yeah. Well, you're definitely doing it. You're on your way up, continuing to do it, and keep going. Both of you. You're just I'm impressed. Better be impressed than depressed.
Yeah, don't get depressed by us.
No, I said better be impressed than depressed. No, I'm not depressed. No, I'm just joking with you, but that's how I feel. No, you're quite a team. That you are.
Thank you, Donnie. Well, I have to admit, when I came across your name, remember, because I told you I knew you back in the old days with Alex and those guys and David, karaoke guy. I didn't know you as well as Alex knew you, but I remember we'd met numerous times, and I saw you perform and things like that. So all these years later, when I saw your name, I recognized, your real name. You got your stage name and your real name, and I saw, oh, that's Johnny Blaze from back in the day, and we got all excited. I told her about you, and then I contacted Alex, and he's like, oh yeah, he's doing his thing, and then I went and got your documentary, on Amazon Prime, or Amazon, right? As where I rented it.
Amazon, right?
Yeah, and then I just went on YouTube and I saw all your stuff, and I'm like, wow. So I thought it was cool that you're still doing your thing too.
Yeah.
And you're still passionate about it.
Yeah.
And now you're doing this talk show thing, which you've been talking about wanting to do from the videos I was watching when I've done interviews. It sounded like that's something you were aspiring to. So you're doing your own show. We're doing our own show. It's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love it. And the pandemic. Let's put it this way: I can't film because of the pandemic. So this is a better opportunity to go on Zoom. I mean, I can talk to anybody anywhere, whether they be. I've had guests in Arizona or Florida or Chicago, and now you're Joshua Tree. Well, you're Joshua Tree. So the computer is all over the place. I don't have to worry about going somewhere and maybe I'm gonna put someone else at risk for getting COVID or myself or whatever. So and you have a captive audience. People now are they're bored. The things we took for granted, of course, we're not able to do as much. I hope they eventually can go back to, eating at restaurants outside. You have to wear the mask and be 6 feet apart and the whole bit. And then traveling is difficult. I had a cruise I had to cancel. I was going to, from Princess Cruise to go to Canada because of the pandemic, but I did get most of my money back. So that was, you don't want to, you got to be careful now. That's a death sentence, COVID. So, you want to listen to what they're doing and.
Yeah.
Pardon me? Did you have to cancel a trip also?
Canceled travel.
Where were you going to go?
We were going to go up to Portland for Christmas. And
where were you? Where were you going to go for Christmas?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, Portland, Oregon. Oh, that would have been beautiful. It sounds like.
Yeah.
But
you had to cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got your money back if you were going to take a plane or.
No,
Credit.
I got a credit. I got a full credit, and so I have like a year to make additional plans to fly.
I see.
Take another trip.
Well,
So I was okay with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a credit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, my friend and I were going to go twice to Canada. The time before we had to cancel because his car all of a sudden wasn't working, so it wasn't meant for everything. But anyway, it's better to be safe than sorry, that's for sure. But I've enjoyed. You are my 7th episode on this now, and we're always looking for other people. We are always looking for other people to be guests.
Well, I'll spread the word. I'll spread the word.
I'll tell people to that I see. I'll tell them to check you out also, of course. There you go. Appreciate it.
Can I pimp our show so people that are watching know about our show on Sunday? Is that cool?
What? Can you do what?
Can I let people know about our Sunday show? Can I promote it right now on your show?
You mean the one that I was just on as a guest? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, we do it every Sunday at 11 a.m. and it's called In Bed with Sticky Doll, and we're actually in our bed just like we are now. But it's hour long. It's fun. Johnny, you were on it last Sunday as a guest. We do it every Sunday, and it's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's got some music, but it's mainly just funny and silly. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It was an honor and privilege to have been a guest on your show, and it's your personality and the way you promoted me. It was so much fun, and I've told other people about it and put it up on on the news story and promoted it. And a lot of people, everybody that saw it, liked it very much, and I can watch it over and over again. It was that great.
Yeah.
And I like what you're doing. I definitely like what you're doing, and it's my pleasure. And it's just wonderful to have both you two as a guest. It really is. And I've enjoyed all of the different ones I have done.
You'll have to come on our show another time. You're going to have to come back on our show another time. We're going to be doing it every Sunday, so it's going to be going for a while, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. I'd love to come back. Great. El Sancho and Cynna, that's correct.
Cynna.
You're a great
Cynna.
couple. Cynna? Oh, I thought it was
Like
pronounced with a
cinnamon,
C, Cynna.
like cinnamon.
Oh,
So
it's Senna,
cinnamon.
Senna.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's Senna. My mistake. I thought
That's
it was the
okay.
other way. I thought it was Cena, but it's apparently Senna. Okay, well, you two are just a dynamic, blazing hot, awesome couple. You really are, both of you, and it's fantastic. I'm really happy to have had you on, and keep smiling, keep singing, keep being blazing and amazing, and yeah, I'll come back as a guest some other time. All right, and
Thanks,
tell other
Johnny.
people about it. So
Yeah.
what I want. My pleasure. So El Sancho and Senna,
Yeah.
fantastic. Just keep smiling, keep going forward. I want to say to everybody, till next time, always keep a big smile on your face and a song in your heart. And I'm going to say happy trails and blaze out. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to promote yourself by being a guest on an entertainment talk show on Zoom, please email amazingoriginalJBshow@gmail.com. And Johnny Blaze has just left the building. Good night and God bless.